Hello, dear Toastmasters and friends. I welcome you to our 127th, our world record meeting today. We've got some beautiful guests here coming from different countries as usual, and I'm here to state a couple of rules before we begin. Rule numero uno is that we keep our mic muted if we do not speak. And the second rule is that, well, not technically a rule, but something to keep your mind of, that our meeting is being recorded. Photos might be taken, videos might be published. So please be aware and always keep a smile on your face. That's it for me. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Alexander, for being the Sergeant at Arms and such a great opening here. Dear everyone, dear Toasties, dear Toastmaster guests from all around the world, from wherever you are, I actually started counting. We have a huge attendance rate, which always makes me smile and happy. So people are probably getting used to the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh wave of COVID coming in and just considering there's no reason to expect any big changes soon. Nevertheless, I hope that you made your way and everyone is safe wherever you are. This is the biggest and most important part so far. I would like to kick off our meeting for today with announcing some news which not every one of you maybe have heard so far. The International Speech Conference in St. Petersburg on 22nd and 21st of November run very well, and we have exciting news that our member Mr. Michael Wader has participated, and not only participated, he also has brought home, if one may say so, just two of two possible goals. And I want to raise my hands and give it a round of applause to Michael Wader for the second place in the international speed contest and for the first place at the table topics contest in English version at this conference. Congratulations, Michael. Very well done. For me, it was the first experience participating in how this challenge runs. I think for the majority of the organizers of area A and B, that was also the first time because it was still not clear until the very end. Is it going to be an offline meeting? Can there be attendance in real life, or should it be fully offline? And at the very end, they decided to have it full offline. Nevertheless, it ran very well, and there were nice speakers and guest speakers. There were professional company representatives from speaking clubs as well, say from St. Petersburg, where you could take away a lot of experience for yourself and towards your careers and goals in terms of speaking. I think for the next year, one has more of a real picture what to expect, how to run, and the wish that more of us also will participate and have an idea what to expect, and also have some members to talk to on how the thing is running. That should be it from me. I would highly likely start and kick it off with handing over to passing my control to the Toastmaster of the day, who is Rami Saeed. Thank you very much. Rami, back to you.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Hello and welcome, fellow members, dear guests. It is my pleasure to be today your Toastmasters. For any guests in the house, the Toastmaster of the day is just the head of ceremony. So my role is to guide you through the agenda, hand over to role players to make sure the meeting runs smoothly and on time. Another role the Toastmaster is to provide the theme for today. Our theme today is happiness, smiling, positivity. I want everyone to smile. Yes, I want you to smile. And this is from outside inside. If you're feeling bad, always start by smiling. This is going to be automatically fixing your posture, getting into your head. Another way is from inside out, which is when you remember a happy moment in the past, something that makes you smile, a funny thing that happened, a funny joke, and that gets you to smile from inside out. So use these techniques. Another way I make myself happy and smile, I hide some money in pants, in shirts, in places. This is, of course, when you're single, this makes you happy, but when you're married, you also make someone else happy and yourself in turn. So, or you also can make your dry cleaner, the person that's cleaning your clothes, also happy sometimes. So also know something, that the happiness fruit is a banana. That's why people who go to Thailand, Bali, they eat bananas. They're always happy. They're smiling. So always keep with you an extra banana around and have one in the morning when you're having not so perfect day. So what is happiness, ladies and gentlemen? It is a state of well-being and contentment. So I've personally taken an oath. This is something that you need to do to yourself, and to always be happy no matter what happens, because this really makes you be more productive in your life, makes you more creative, attracts the right people towards you. And this is our goal for today, is for you to leave and always be smiling and having an excellent day. So let us get on with our agenda. Aside from the Toastmaster, me, I have other people who are also helping me in this role, which is I would like to hand over to Walter, who is our joke master for today. Walter keeps himself happy by being thankful in the morning for who is next to him, and also trusting his gut feelings and knowing that he is true to himself. Walter, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, the happiness topic is not only crisp and interesting and very mysterious, due to the fact that I find out there are a lot of interpretations on that. Nevertheless, let me provide you my small little joke on happiness. To a lot of people who are maybe foreigners for us today, the joke master is the one who's introducing the joke of the day, who should be related to the topic, if possible. Now, there we go. When I told my therapist about being unhappy, he said, when it comes to happiness, a good analogy is a 3D printer. What do you mean, a 3D printer? Do you think that I should print my own happiness? Is that what I mean? He said, no, he said. I mean, most people don't have it, and many people don't even know what it is. And and this is something which applies to technology when a lot of people talk about something which we call probably a hype, because it's coming up and it's so great and it must be so important to everyone. But at the end of the day, everyone has his own and very own interpretation and meaning what it actually is. And the same is, from my perspective, applicable to the means of happiness. Everyone has his own and very own interpretation of what it actually means. Thank you very much. Over to you, dear Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you so much. It is very important to start our day with a joke and make ourselves always laugh, because laughter makes us live longer. Thank you. Now we move to our evaluation team, we have our timer, Alexander Kim. So how he keeps himself happy is through his friend's success, which is something that I share as well. I also am happy. Nothing makes me more happy than seeing my friend, for example, meeting the love of their life, them making money, them getting a new client. This also makes me happy. This is the best way to one of the best ways to keep yourself happy. Alexander Kim, please explain the role of the timer. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. In most professional situations, we often do not have that luxury to speak for however long we wish to. So during interviews, presentations, speeches, we are required to communicate our message in a short yet effective manner. And that's why we have a timer in our club, hands down the most important role in our club. This person helps you to track the amount of time you've spent on your speech. Each Toastmaster section has its own allotted time period within which a speaker should finish his speech. For example, our prepared speakers should speak from 5 to 7 minutes. And how I will help them? That's a wonderful question. I will turn my background to green once they have spoken for 5 minutes, into yellow once they've spoken for 6 minutes, and I'll turn my background to red once they have spoken for 7 minutes. The same rule applies for table topics where a speaker should speak for 1 to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, they will see the red card, at 1:30, they will see yellow, and at 2, they will see red. The evaluation timing is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2, they will see the red color, the green color. At 2:30, they will see the yellow color. And at 3 minutes, they will see the red color. One thing to remember is once you see a red color, please make sure that you wrap up your speech in the following 30 seconds. Otherwise, you will be rudely interrupted by our uploading and we will have to stop you. That's it for me for today. A lot of numbers, but I will, before each section, I will kindly remind you about the timings again. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Alexander Kim. You know, it's I wish I could take a timer with me at work. There are so many people who explain something that can be explained in 1 minute for 5 minutes and put them this red card out there. Thank you so much, Alexander. So the next person also we have on the team is Randall Eastman. He will be our counter. Randall keeps himself happy by waking up early in the morning and jogging, which is something that I also love to do. I don't manage to wake up in the morning, but we try as much as possible. But doing sports daily, it's amazing. Randall, please, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Unfortunately, I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning, which I don't think I've ever done in my life. So I need this meeting today to make me happy. My job as the counter is to keep track of filler words and sounds that you will use throughout your speech, whether you're speaking English natively or as a second or third or fourth or fifth language. There are some sounds that often people make in between their speech, which detract from the key message. So whatever language we're speaking, we want to get rid of these filler words so that what we're saying is more precise and more engaging. And so I will be keeping track of ums, ahs, ars, wells, so's, likes, buts, and anything else I can think of that's a filler word. And I will report at the end. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Randall. Thank you so much. You know, whenever I'm not ready, that's when I tend to always use the and it's like a deer in the headlights moment. So yeah, it's true. I think it's also preparing and being ready for things. Our next person is Olga Guseva. She is our quiz master for today. Olga keeps herself very happy by being around friends and family. And when they're happy, she is the happiest. Me as well. Please, Olga, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And once again, good afternoon to everyone. As Quizmaster, I will be listening out to various bits of information throughout the meeting, and I've already started listening and noting a few things down. And I will be compiling these bits of information into questions. And at the end of the meeting, I will provide these questions. I will address these questions to you, and I will require that you answer these questions in the chat box. So to train your listening skills, keep listening so that at the end, you're able to answer all the questions. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Olga. And it's very important for the Quizmaster role is very important. And I'm getting also used to it. And I wish to take it to me with my friends when I'm discussing something with them. They get it. They understand. What did they get? You know, it's something that's very important. So thank you. Our next is Anastasia Lear. She's our ballot counter. The way she likes to keep happy is reducing stress and eliminating the source by facing it right on. Anastasia, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Rami. My role today is extremely important, almost as important as Alexander's, as I'm the ballot counter today. We are going to have 3 competitions, and you will be given the opportunity to vote for the best speaker, best evaluator, and best table topic speaker. And for that, I will be glad to share a link which you need to copy paste and vote. And let's see who will be the winners of the day. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Our next person to help us is Anna Soldatova. Her role is a grammarian and the word of the day. So what she does to keep herself happy is walk in the forest and eat ice cream. That's something that I love to do, especially in St. Petersburg. The forest is very lovely all seasons. And Anna, please introduce the role. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Once again, good afternoon to everyone. Nice to see you and hear you today. And as grammarian, I will listen to you attentively and keep eye on positive and negative use of English. And at the end of the meeting, I will present my report. And now I would like to introduce the word of the day. Let me share my screen. Just a second. Here we are. So serenity, the quality or state of being serene. So here you can see the examples of using this word. So I hope you will use it and will clap our hands and listen to this beautiful serene world. So with the sense of deep happiness and serenity, back to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna. Anna, please, can you write the word in the chat box so that we see it throughout the session? Try to use it in your speech. Try to use it in your improvisation sessions, and also me. You know, serenity. I love feeling serene. When we get a word into our grammar and to our vocabulary, we open new paths in our life. They say around 30 new ideas come to your head when you learn one new word in the English language. So it's a very important role. Thank you so much. Now we will move to our first main part of our day, which is the organized speeches. So we have our first speaker, Shinsaku Kitano. The pathway is presentation mastery, which is essentially using presentation software. The goal is to introduce, review basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance speech. Something about Kitano. Kitano's goal is to become world-class speaker. And his goal today is to make a presentation in English, and he has chosen our club to do this. And we thank Mr. Shinsaku for that. What makes Shinsaku happy is human history. Title of speech, historical simultaneity. Everybody, please join your hands to welcome Shinsaku Kitano.
Can I check through this is the first time I can use the PowerPoint software. So can I check it's
Very good.
Okay. Please. now, can I start? It's
yes,
okay?
please.
Okay. It's about 50 years ago. In those days, I learned the Russian language. In those days, I can speak Russian language. It's about 1 or 2 hours in Russian. I could speak. So at that time, in Tokyo, the many Russians living there. I asked some Russian girls to. I need Russian material. I asked some girls. She gave me several videos for me. So I watched some. At that time, I found what interesting video. The man's name is this one, the Ivan Grozny. All Russians know his name, but the Japanese I guess only 5%, less than 5% his name. And even though I know his name, but I didn't know his life. How he spent how did um, how live or how, basically I don't have that kind of information of his life. So I watched them at that time. I remember almost same person, almost same person. I remember the man's name is this one, Oda Nobunaga. Oda Nobunaga, today is expected the Japanese joined this meeting. So he was, all Japanese know his name. In Japan, Oda is a family name. Nobunaga is a personal name. So because Oda Nobunaga is it's a quite brutally cruel name. So let's to compare their life. Okay. Now almost same. So Oda Nobunaga was born in 1934. The Ivan Grozny, the 1534, the Ivan Grozny 1530, almost same time born, and also died. Oda Nobunaga was dead in the 1582, the 48 years old. The Ivan Grozny, 1584. They spend the whole, almost the same life, or almost the same personality, or also same person. So please remember, Oda Nobunaga was dead in the 1582. All Japanese know he was trying to some kind of ruler over Japan. So even though ended up, he said he was gold. So also he the unity to the many nation road. Oh, officially in Japan to gun in the world. So 1543, Portuguese shipwreck carried guns. So it's many different opinions, but even though some people said 1 month or 2 months later, Japanese copied the gun. Well, some people said to 1 year later, copied. But even though it's a very short time, quickly to the copy guns. And also to improve. So this is the first early time gun, but even though Japanese are good at to improve, so because several times improved, next quite a new one they made. And also you watch the 1575 Battle of Nagashino. Maybe Japanese know, but other people don't know. Wait a minute, I need to another one. Oh, this is a Battle of Nagashino. Please, please look at the left side. This is used again. The Nagashino, Battle of Nagashino, 1574. In those days, Japanese produced a Japanese gun produced more than whole over European countries. Not only one, England or Italy, France. No, the whole over the European countries, the Japanese gun more produced than all over European countries gun. So the okay. This is a Nagashino, the battle was in the field. So uh, in those days, the troops, whole troops, this national battle is whole troops is 45,000 troops. And after is 50 years later, is the name is quite difficult for you, but even though the Sekigahara, the battle, is it's about 160. And 50 years later, it's the last one, the last biggest Japanese nationwide war. It's Osaka Natsu or Fu regime is there is twice 220,000 troops. For last one, 290,000. So because today I will say this one to many Russian with Yuan Grizzly is a special person, but I don't know. But I guess almost same in those days. The Japanese battle with the Japanese troops almost same size were Russian. So the last time I joined this Toastmasters crowd, there are many background toward military background they have. So because today I bring to this this speech, but even though today's theme is happiness, so happiness. So we're very happy, Russian and Japan, both of they we don't live their errors. Thank you. Today's unexpected. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shinsaku. I love the way you were smiling all throughout the presentation. It's a very lovely way to go through it.
Sorry. I'm the many skip over. Sorry. I couldn't speak as whole stories. Thank you very much.
Now, everyone, please spend. Now you have a minute to please write to Shinsaku on the chat box your feedback. What did you love about his presentation, and what do you think that he can do to make his presentation better? Okay, everyone, please, in the chat box, you have a minute. So I hope everyone is has given the feedback. Okay. So now we will move on to our next prepared speech. We have Anastasia Lukina. It's on leadership development pathway. It is understanding your leadership style, 5 to 7 minutes. The idea is to share some aspect of a chosen leadership style or leadership styles in general, discuss the style preferences when working with others, how to adapt the chosen leadership style to situations, or leadership styles in general and how they impact the group. Something about Anastasia. Anastasia studies psychology of relationships. Her goal is to get into the tech world with this subject. Things that make her happy are painting and singing karaoke. These are excellent ways you express yourself through drawings, shapes, gradients, points of view. Karaoke is also a performance, so we are going to be seeing something that is amazing today. And her speech title is Three Traits of Innovative Leaders. Anastasia, Lukina, please, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Rami. It was quite flattering to me to find out that I have the same leadership style as Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. And I thought to myself, what do I have in common with those top billionaires? I did the research and I picked three traits that I thought that I resonate with. I thought that I resonate with those traits. So the first trait is they are visionaries. In May 2019, Jeff revealed his ambitions about the future of humanity. And he said that he's going to build artificial islands not far from Earth. And these islands would be climate controlled, and they will have cities, farms, beaches, mountains, and up to 1 million people will be living there. And I think it's a really brilliant idea. And now I know where he's going to spend his first trillion. And speaking about Elon Musk, we all know that he wants to colonize Mars, and he said that he's going to send us to Mars after the third World War, and I hope that is not going to happen. And speaking about me, myself, I have a vision about the future that in 20 years, people will be awakened and they will be very highly intuitive, and their attention will be focused to their inner world and to the growth of humanity and development of humanity. And the second trait is creativity. We know that Jeff sometimes have really great ideas, and he said that he encourages his employees to think out of the box and sometimes go down to the blind alleys and experiment. And once he said very wise thing: if you're going to create something new or innovate, you have to be willing to be misunderstood. And I totally agree with that. And Elon Musk, on the other hand, he uses the first principle method. I think some of you heard about that method. It's basically boiling down the idea into the basics and then reasoning up from there. On one of his interviews, he used the example of a battery. For example, the cost of the battery. For example, people would say battery always costs $600 kilowatt hour, and that is not going to get any better. And by using that principle, you have to say, okay, so what are materials constituents of the batteries? So basically you have to think better ways to combine those materials into the shape of the battery. So this way you are going to have much, much cheaper battery that no one realizes. So the third trait of innovative leaders is to embrace the failure. There is a saying that innovation and failure are two inseparable twins. That's actually Jeff said. And Elon said that failure is an option. If you're not failing, you're not innovating. As a perfectionist, I understood that idea quite late. And now I totally agree with that. So in conclusion, I would like to say that I'm so happy that we are living in the era of innovation. And I also believe that the future is behind innovative leaders. And these three traits, as being a visionary, being creative, embracing the failure, are going to help anyone to build the better world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Very positive, smiling, excellent vibe. Thank you for the trick as well. It's taking something that's complicated, making it simple, and then going for the solution. I think this is going to be very helpful, especially for me. I tend to be paralyzed in the analysis. I do a lots of analysis, and then I don't know what to do. So this is like definitely something that's going to be helping me. Everyone, please, in the chat box, write to Anastasia. What did you love about her presentation, and what do you think she can work on and make better? You have a minute. Please, in the chat box, write your feedback. Okay, guys, I hope you're done. Okay. So now we will be moving to our third speech. Our third presenter is Michael Wader. The pathway is engaging humor and researching and presenting, 5 to 7 minutes. The idea is to research and present on an unfamiliar topic, organize the speech clearly to maximize audience understanding, craft clear and engaging transitions between main sections of your speech, and use and cite sources to support speech content and make a source list available. So be ready to smile, guys, to laugh. Something about Michael. Michael, to me personally, is the definition of happiness and positive attitude. The best way for me personally to start the day is with one of his morning quotes that go excellently with my morning hot cocoa and bananas. He's a world-class business trainer on leadership, the father of 2, grandfather of 4. He keeps himself happy through reading, writing, and developing original quotes. He gets his energy from where? From helping others become more successful. Michael will tell us about a communication technique that today's elite business schools are teaching to give their students a head start on their career path to success. This is something that could make you more successful. Title is Improv to Improve. Michael, the floor is all yours, please.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, improvisation has gotten a bad rap because most people think it's only for comedy. It is not. Improvisation has helped many successful people become very, very successful, and they continue to use it. Now, in my 26 years in the military and another 25 years of traveling around the world to different countries, I have learned that I need to think on my feet. I know that different languages, different cultures, different situations have required me in order to think outside the box without any preparation. And that may sound difficult to you, but it's not as hard as it sounds. Now, my research revealed that universities around the world are starting to put improvisation training into their MBA program at the graduate level. Harvard, Duke, MIT, and not only in America, but also in China, in Malaysia, in the UAE, also in Finland and in England. Many countries around the world now have said in our business school, we recognize that improvisation is absolutely necessary. Without it, it's not going to work. Now, some students are being taught that you don't need to use intuition. They're being taught that don't look for rational or logical conclusions. They're not there. You should be spontaneous, and you should rely on novel actions that will be executed immediately upon thought. Now, Toastmasters has a long-standing tradition. They've been doing table topics for many, many years. Table topics requires you to use improvisation. You need to know how to think on your feet. And you are asked questions. You are put into scenarios. You have a short amount of time and you need to respond accurately. You can do it. You have tried it. Some of you have been very, very successful at it. It's not that difficult, but it is a skill that is not only great for table topics, it's also a skill that is very good for work. It's a skill that is highly sought after. Now, in my research, I also found that the University of Utara in Malaysia, in their graduate program, and Duke University, both of them went to Malaysia and interviewed 128 businesses, private businesses there. And they found those businesses that had a high level of improvisation training did much, much better than those companies that had just a low amount or none. They found that those companies were able to have a higher revenue, have a lower turnover of people, had more innovations, and their overall cost of coming up with new ideas for products were much, much lower. Now, improvisation in its simplest form is in 3 pieces. It's not that complicated. Piece number 1, you have to listen carefully. When you're at a Toastmasters meeting, pay attention, especially when the table topics master is going to give you a table topic project that you're going to talk to, 1 to 2 minutes on. You need to be ready. You got to pay close attention. If you've ever watched improvisation on television, you have seen that those people respond so very, very quickly. But what you may not have noticed, and you should look the next time, the second person, the one who's going to speak after the one who's already speaking, watch their eyes. They are frozen on the person who has spoken. They live in the moment. And that's what you need to do when you try table topics. Get into the moment. Pay very, very close attention. The second part of it is reaction. You need to learn how to respond. Don't be afraid of making a mistake. Nobody knows what you're going to say. Nobody knows how you're going to respond. So just go ahead and respond. Whatever comes out is right. It cannot be wrong. It is your interpretation of that table topic. So do it. The third part of this is communications. Just go ahead and communicate the way you are learning in Toastmasters. Now, when you put the listening part and you put the reaction part together, those two combine with synergy to give you the correct communications that you need to move forward. Now, if you've got these 3 things down, you're going to find out, and this is my quote of the day for you, that improvisation thrives where experience and practice meet unexpected circumstances. Improvisation thrives where experience and practice meet unexpected circumstances. When you least expect it, you're at work, boss asks you a question, you have to give them an answer. Don't shy away from that. Try it. You're doing it in table topics. Practice it here. It's the right place to practice. If you practice it here, you will get it well. You will do it well, but it's going to take some practice. Now, improvisation gets 2 bad raps. One, people think it's comedy. It's not comedy. Let me give you a couple examples. If we look at an EMT, an emergency medical technician, if we look at a fireman, or if we look at a sports athlete who's trying to take a ball down the field, all 3 of those are open to thousands of possibilities. We don't know which way our opponent, when we're going down the field, is going to move, and we have to get around them. In the fireman and the EMT, they don't know what's going to be there at the scene. When they go to that scene, they have to observe, listen, react, and then communicate. So it can be a serious thing too. It does not have to be for comedy. The other thing is that improvisation gets a bad rap for is they say that it is just panic thinking. People jump at the clues and somebody gives them a question, they don't know what to say, so they panic. No, it's actually your education, your intelligence, and your practice together. When you give a table topics answer, at work, when you give an answer to the boss that is improvised, it comes from your personal experience, your personal knowledge, and what you've done in the past. You put those together and you can do very, very well. So my advice to all of you is that you should get more involved in table topics inside of Toastmasters. 3 things. 1, participate. 2, listen very carefully. And 3, don't be afraid to answer. It will not be wrong and you will be successful. Take this trick back to work and it's going to help you be better at work also. Mr. Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you so much, Michael. I got the quote of the day today as well. Where's my cup of coffee? I was looking for it, nothing there to be found. And yeah, true. I mean, for me, life just keeps throwing me these situations where I'm in the headlights, you know, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? You know, improvisation is vital. It's nothing happens per plan. Everything we always need to show that we're confident and to go out there. Thank you so much for the speech. Everyone, please, you have a minute to give Michael some feedback. What did you love and what do you think he could do better? Please write in the chat box. You have a minute.
Just a quick one, folks. Please just make sure that you're writing the chat and pick the one single recipient so we can replicate our offline meetings where you hiddenly and directly and privately share your evaluation with the only person. So just make sure where you click the button send to, don't use all, but just pick Michael Wader in this case. Thanks.
Okay, I hope you guys are ready. So now for the timer, please can you report on the timing for everyone?
Absolutely, Mr. Toastmaster. Shinsaku's speech was 8 minutes 58 seconds long, another world record broken today. Anastasia Lukina's speech was 4 minutes 33 seconds, making it eligible for the vote. And Michael's speech was 7 minutes 80 seconds, also good to go for the voting. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Alexander. So now we have the link. Please vote for the best speaker for today. Everyone, please, there's a link in the chat box. If you cannot find it, please mention. Just click on the link and you can get the vote. I can see everyone smiling. Very good. Excited for our break. Okay, so now we have our 10-minute break. Now it's 2:53. So at 3:03, we're gonna reconvene the meeting with our table topics. Everyone, we have 10 minutes for break. You can stay here, chat, relax, have a cup of tea, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do, and come back after 10 minutes. So welcome back, everyone. We are over with the break. I hope you all have had your tea ready, the water, and you have your smiles with you and excited for our second part of the meeting, which is the table topics. This is your time to apply some of the knowledge that you have acquired today. And for you to participate, I want everyone to challenge yourself, to invite yourself to go ahead and participate. This is especially for our guests, our shy people, please. This is a very safe environment for you. So for table topics, it will be led by Konstantin Kutz. And let me tell you something about Konstantin. he loves watching comedy, and that's how he keeps himself happy. And he loves to connect with old friends, and he loves also to get things done. This is what makes him happy. Konstantin, please, the floor is all yours. Tell us more about the roles.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And yeah, completing the task puts me in a serene state, so I feel a little bit better about myself. Dear Toastmasters and friends and guests, today I'm going to be your table topics master, and today's topic is happiness. We all feel happy sometimes, and the most obvious indication of that is the smile on your face and light in your eyes. I suggest to focus our attention first on the techniques, how we can communicate our thoughts between each other, since we are a public speaking community, and then we can talk about the things that make us happy. Can I have the ability to share my screen, because I prepared a small presentation. Stop reading my notes. Can you see my screen now? Guys?
Yes, it is a yes.
Awesome. Before I proceed to the presentation, please message in chat if you want to volunteer for today's table topics, or perhaps you will be voluntold, as our event is for speakers, not for listeners. So the goal of table topics is to boost your improvisation. As Michael said, is to boost your improvisation and fluency skills in order to handle a casual conversation and give the response that fits well. In the time is limited to usually to 1 to 2 minutes, and it shouldn't be more than 3 minutes. There are many techniques how you can handle the table topics, and I want to give you 3 of my favorites, so you can structure your table topic. The first technique, called prep or Oreo, depending on what the first word you are using. Is it point or opinion? It is an acronym, and you can explain it as point, reason, example, and point. You can start with the point, and you can put your point in I agree that something is my point. Then you will describe the reason. Then you can bring an example from your life. There was a time, once upon a time, I've been working as a constructor and I was building houses and blah, blah, blah. And then you shall conclude with the point. So what's the aftermath of your speech? The next technique is called PFF, and stands for past, present, and the future. In our lives, the difference between the previous technique is that sometimes we do not have like a crystallized point. We don't have to argue about something. We can just say that in my childhood, I used to think about this thing this way, but now I think about it that way, and in the future I will probably think the third way. Yeah. And the next technique is storytelling method. It's probably the most comprehensive technique, because it will take from you more efforts to combine a stories bank. So you will have, for example, a story in your memory, and you will have a conclusion from this story. But you can wrap your story in the structure as a message. Then you will put a story with the message, and then you will make a conclusion with a call to action. Later, I will put this presentation in our group chat so you can read more about what techniques you can use in your table topics. But for now, let's proceed to the fun part. Let's talk. So I will stop sharing my screen and I will return. Then I will have the applicant. Randy wants to talk today. Yeah, I need to share my screen again. Okay, Randy, your question today is, what do you think stands between you and happiness? Tell me when you are ready.
Well, thank you very much, Konstantin. That is a very interesting question. And unlike Rami, I think I will come back with an answer that is sort of a negative answer. What stands between me and happiness? If I had a sour face, I would say it's my wife. My wife is standing between me and happiness. The reality is she's also alongside me trying to achieve and pursue happiness, but sometimes she's in the middle. And as any of you who have been married one or more times would know, being married, it's requires a lot of give and take. And there are happy moments, there are sad moments, there are challenging moments. And all of us are people. We all have our own self-interest in mind a lot of times when we actually should be sharing our thoughts, sharing our emotions with other people. So sometimes it is my wife who's standing in between me and happiness, but the reality is it's not her, it's me. So I guess I am the one who is, through my perceptions, is standing between me and happiness more than anything else. So I guess it's my perception. So my conclusion, me, I have to work on me. And if I work on me, I can make myself happy. And I think only I can make myself happy. No one else can do that for me. Over to you, Mr. Table Topics Chairman.
Thank you, Remy, for your great point. And for the next speaker, we can go with, the next speaker is going to be Walter. And I just want to note that since it's a time limited event, I suggest you to pin the timer screen so you will be aware of the time, how much you have left. So the next speaker is Walter, and your question is, can there be happiness without sadness, pleasure without pain, and peace without war? Walter?
Thank you very much, Konstantin, for this very nice rhetorical question, I guess. Can there be happiness without sadness, pleasure without pain, and peace without war? My straightforward answer would be no. Why? Because our perception brain works always in a so-called yin-yang manner. You can't experience throughout your entire time happiness. There is no such thing. So once you're sad and then you will become happy, or you laugh, or you have an interaction which gives you some spark in your eyes, you realize throughout these contrasts how lucky you are receiving this now in comparison to X, Y, Z. So being aware of the other side is also one of those tricks to enforce happiness once you're on the search. Adding to this, serenity, which is our word of the day, is also perceived by some of the people as something to go down, something to keep calm. But this is also something which is very standard in nature way, as we have in Russia, for example. The winter, the nature, everything calms down to get yourself prepared to kick off the summer and the rise of energy exchange. So I conclude, there is no happiness without sadness, and there is no pleasure without pain before or afterwards. As well, there's no peace without war. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Walter, for your speech. And who is the next? The next is Sergey. And your question is, What is your happiest childhood memory? What makes it so special? Please tell us about it. Sergey?
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster, for the wonderful question. It's very difficult to keep the state of serenity answering that question, but I will do my best. Definitely, everybody has a lot of memories, good memories from the childhood, and we are all uh, deriving our personality from good and bad childhood memories, from what's related to our parents, to our friends, the warm feelings, the bitter feelings from our childhood, and that's in many ways defines who we actually are. Thinking about my own happiest childhood memory, it's difficult to choose one. Just there were so many of them, but probably the best memories are related to the summertime. Of course, Leningrad is a very cold place, uh, and winter in Leningrad is a terribly depressing time, and that makes you value the warmth, the sunshine, and the good weather, especially if you spend most of your childhood summers on the Black Sea, in around the nice place named Anapa, which I strongly recommend visiting in better times when the COVID is over. And all my best memories are related to that place. July, Anapa, Black Sea, good friends, a lot of fun together, and that many children could only dream of back in those days. And I feel that I was blessed to have that, and I'm always grateful to my parents for organizing those things for me and my sister. So I wish you all have very good child memories like I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergey, for your, how do you call this? Flashback from the childhood. And the next table speaker gonna be EV2. Who is that?
I think it's Anastasia Lukina. Oh no, sorry, Evaluator 2 is that, right? Who is Olga Yatsyk, is that correct?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Olga Yatsyk.
Olga, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Nice, because your topic is, if happiness was the national currency, what kind of work would you make to become rich?
If happiness was the national currency?
If happiness was the national currency, what kind of work would make you rich? Okay. I read it wrong a bit. But yeah.
Yeah. That's a tricky one. If happiness was the national currency. What kind of work would make you rich? I honestly think that my work would make me rich, because it makes me quite happy. Before the pandemic hit, I work in what you might call an essential organization, and that means we were to move home, to working from home a bit later than the general public in April. And at that time I yearned to get home, because it was a little bit scary, and like March and early April are not the happiest times in Moscow in terms of weather, as well as in St. Petersburg, I presume. So I started working from home, and after some time I realized that it's so bad, it's so tiring. I so miss my colleague, I so miss my work in terms of being able to interact with people in person, or not having issues with the remote work. And and I was very happy to come back to work in person, to work in the office, which I am doing now. And I am so blessed that I have a job, because in these difficult times, some people were let go, and some people fear for their jobs. So I think this whole pandemic experience made me reevaluate my my ideas about my work, and nowadays it really makes me happy.
Thank you so much, Olga. And we have left only one table topic. And I suggest to give it to our guest, Henrik, who volunteered to participate in today's competition. Henrik, are you ready? Henrik. Henrik, are you still with us? Guys, do you see Henrik? Okay, Henrik is not with us anymore. Then we can give the opportunity to Anna. Anna, are you ready? Anna Soldatova?
Yes, I am.
Nice. And your topic is, what are the primary components of a happy life? Anna, what are primary components of a happy life?
Thank you, Konstantin, for this outstanding table topic for topics for today. What about primary components of a happy life? First of all, I need to improve the statistics of the word of the day. Being in the serenity state of mind, I will be happy to discuss primary components of happy life. And I'm sure that nowadays everyone knows them quite well. I mean, first of all, we need to eat quality food with the required level of vitamins and other vital components. Next, we need to do physical exercises. It's also crucial for human being, as we are kind of animals, and we need to be active as our pets, for example, cats and dogs. Sorry for that comparison. And the last but not least, and I guess the most important thing, is to have communication with our loved ones, I mean, friends, family, and it's really important to have quality communication in our life. And I think these three components could make you happy. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, I think everyone cannot disagree with Anna priorities in achieving of the happy life. And I want to conclude table topics for today. Just a short reminder. I really want to focus your attention one more time on the structure of table topics, which is really, I think, important part of conducting the table topics. It will really, this structure will just put you in a serene state. You will feel less anxious. You will structure your speech, and you will just bring, you'll just form your ideas in modules and deliver it to your audience. With all that being said, I want to bring back the I want to get it back to our Toastmaster of the day, Rami.
Thank you so much, Konstantin Kutz, and everyone who participated. And for the ones who were not able to participate, next time you can. And it was a very positive vibe and also serene while listening to everyone giving their points. So now we are getting to the section of reporting topic times. So please, Alexander, Kim, can you tell us the times of the people?
Yes, I will remind you that this speech or table topic should be within 1 to 2 minutes, and almost all of the speakers managed to be within time, except for Olga Yatsyk. Her speech length was 2 minutes 48 seconds, which makes her not eligible for the vote. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Alexander. So now you should see the link for the best table topic speaker. Please, you have a minute to vote. Everybody, the link is in the chat box. Please vote for the best topic speaker of today. Okay, are we all done, guys? Smile, yeah? Okay, now we get to our getting to serious point. I would like to welcome the general evaluator for today, Henrik. Henrik, the way he keeps himself happy is by meeting people from different countries and hear new stories. And this is why he loves Toastmasters. Please, Henrik, I give the floor is all yours for the evaluation session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. And as a general evaluator, it's my job to evaluate everything that takes place around during the club meeting, except for the speeches. I conduct the evaluation the portions in the meeting and responsible for the evaluation team. The speech evaluations are called Grammarian timer. And it's my pleasure to begin with the evaluation of the speech. We started, as I can see, about Anastasia Leos, who will evaluate Shinsaku's speech. So, feel welcome, Anastasia Leos.
Thank you, Henrik, dear Toastmasters, dear Shinsaku Kitano. I would like to thank you for the great speech given today. And the purpose of this project was to present slides to enhance your speech. And I think that you achieved that goal, as you had just the right amount of slides shown to us, not to get us overwhelmed by watching them. And they were clearly seen and they supported what you were talking about. And the audience might have been not well informed of the history of Japan. That's why you really supported your speech by showing us your presentation. It was clearly seen that you are interested in what you're talking about. You shared your personal story first, and then you involved us in a very extremely interesting topic, the historical simultaneity of such different countries, such as Russia and Japan. And as you said me in advance, that was your first overseas speech. That was a really great choice of the topic, as there is another elective project in the level 3 called Connect Your Audience. And that's exactly what you did by choosing this topic. You grabbed our attention as Russians, as most of us being here are Russians. And I also would like to mention that you tried to connect your topic with the main theme of the day, which is happiness. And that was also relevant to us and showed that you are here in the present moment, connecting with us, with the audience, with the club. You told me in advance that you quite often are not in time with your speeches. And my only suggestion would be that practice makes perfect. In case you practice more in advance, that helps you to find the exactly words you're going to announce during your speech. And that helps you to understand how much information you can include in the whole 7 minutes speech. That helps you to speed up if necessary, and play with the speed of your speech. And as a result, you gain confidence and serenity being on the stage. I wish you success in your next speeches. Thank you, dear Henry.
Thank you very much, Anastasia, for your work. And now we take speech number 2. And that is Olga Yatsyk, who will evaluate Anastasia Lukina. So, welcome, Olga Yatsyk.
Hello. Thank you, Henrik. Thank you all. It's always a pleasure to be a guest in a neighbor Toastmasters club. Now back to my evaluation. The goal of Anastasia's project has been to explore her leadership style and share some aspects of it to us in a 5 to 7 minute speech. And I think Anastasia excelled with that goal. My evaluation will be structured like that. First, I will mention all the good parts about Anastasia's speech, and then I will suggest some areas for improvement. First of all, in my opinion, Anastasia mastered the rule of 3. Not only she had a clear 3-part speech with introduction, main part, and conclusion, she also had a 3-part main part with 3 great ideas of leaders being explored. And she also presented us experience of 3 leaders, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and herself. Well done. I also enjoyed how Anastasia used visual aids. You know, it's always tricky working with presentation on Zoom because either you let the audience see the presentation or the speaker. But what Anastasia did with changing her background was excellent, and it allowed us to enjoy both interesting and nice slides and also seeing herself, her great body language and facial expressions, and wonderful smile. What areas for improvement I would suggest for Anastasia? First one, in my opinion, would be show, don't tell. What do I mean by that? Anastasia described herself as a leader. For example, while speaking about great leaders being visionaries, she mentioned her ideas about what the humanity should be in the future. But I would suggest in that to give some examples of how she was a leader and expressed this leadership quality, because leadership ultimately, it's not about what we think, it's about what we do and how we achieve our goals. Secondly, I would suggest Anastasia to work a little bit on her vocal variety. I would suggest before giving a speech, try to think in your head where you would like to increase your voice or increase the speed of your speech. In that way, the speech would sound more entertaining, in my opinion, and it would draw the audience to the speaker a little bit better. So to conclude, great speech, good structure, visual aids, to work a little bit more on giving concrete examples and vocal variety. Again, thank you, Anastasia, for wonderful speeches. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for your work. And now we take the next one. It will be Michael Warden's speech, and the evaluator there should be Sergey Oldatsov. Welcome, Sergey Oldatsov.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Hello from Ireland. This meeting is about happiness, and I was definitely happy when I was given opportunity to evaluate such a distinguished Toastmaster as Michael. So, and definitely that speech was up to the highest standard. That I can say for sure. First, I would like to start with reading the statement, the purpose statement of this project. The purpose of the project is for the member to learn, review basic research methods, and present well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. And I think the speech delivered just that. We could all hear and see that. First of all, I would like to talk about the delivery. It was the highest standard. First of all, Michael was standing. Many of us, including myself, are sitting delivering the speech. It was normal back in offline days to stand in front of the audience, but now we are all getting sloppy and lazy and we are sitting in front of the camera. Michael was standing. Michael was moving. Michael was giving great body language in front of the camera. And that was, these days, it's quite unusual, that level of body language and movement, but that was delivered today. We witnessed it and it was really enjoyable. It worked perfectly, 100%. Of course, there was vocal variety present. There was eye contact, which is a very difficult thing back in the days, because when you're not talking to the audience, you're talking to the camera. And you maintain not eye contact by camera contact, but it was still there. So that was really great. The only minor suggestion for improvement, which is also a problem for me, is sometimes it helps to control the height of the camera for a person wearing glasses, because quite often glasses close the eyes and you don't see the eyes of the person who delivers the speech. So if the camera can be moved a bit lower, if it's possible, I know sometimes it's just not possible, then you can see the person's eyes. That helps. It's a small technical thing, but sometimes can make a bit of a difference. Continuing about the delivery, the pace of the speech on my taste was a bit too fast, but it's my personal preference. I know there was a lot of information present, and I'm guilty myself in trying to squeeze as much as possible into the speech. But sometimes less is more, maybe just a bit slower, maybe a couple of extra pauses. Definitely there were pauses in the speech, and that they were really where they should be. But maybe one or two more, and maybe a bit slower, maybe a bit less information could make it perfect. And the speech itself, it was definitely well researched. There was good humor there. There was brilliant quote about impromptu speaking, and the idea of importance of improvisation was delivered perfectly. I think it was very, very convincing for everyone in the audience. So overall, well done, Michael. Thank you very much. Very enjoyable.
Thank you very much, Sergey. And we have a little request from the grammarian that we will take the grammarian's report first. So I welcome the girl with the lovely surname Soldatova, Anna, to the stage. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you, Henrik. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for this hurrying. Actually, I have to give online English class for Chinese children. It is my volunteering project until the end of the year, so I really have to leave in few minutes. So about our meeting, I need to say that you are super great participants, and I like the usage of English of every member of today's meeting. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for using the word of the day. I guess it will lead all of us to the serenity state after this meeting. And to tell you the numbers, today we managed to use serenity word 10 times. I guess it's a good result. Talking about the usage of language, I would like to share my notes. Just a second, and you can see good and bad examples. I guess it will be useful. Thank you once again for this meeting, and thank you for your efforts for being so cool today. Thank you. Back to you, Henrik. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. And now we will have what I can see, timekeepers report for the evaluators. Alexander, welcome.
Thank you, Henrik. Anastasia's evaluation speech was 2 minutes 34 seconds length, Olga Yatsyk 3 minutes 37 seconds long, and Sergey Udaltsov 3 minutes 28 seconds long. Thank you, Henrik. Back to you.
Thank you for your work, Alexander. And now we should choose the best speech evaluator. So it will be coming a link that you can put what the best speech evaluator was. And here it comes. So everybody has learned to push the button now, so we can go further. Yes, I hope so. And what I can see now, we have the Quizmasters report. And I forgot who the Quizmaster was, but welcome, the Quizmaster. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Henrik. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this is the time where we test to see if everyone was listening, and if you were not, a pie will probably fall on your head, so watch out. But in the meantime, let's check for that with the questions. We'll start at the very beginning, and we will go with this one. Who won second place in the International Speech Contest and first place in the Table Topics Contest? Please write your answers in the chat box. All right, yes, Michael Wader. I just had to draw attention to that because it's awesome, and we can applaud him once more because that's fantastic. All right, so the second question is, in the words of club president Walter, what is happiness like? Like a cake, that's one option. No. Good answers all, but no, that's not it. Keep guessing. So what did Walter liken happiness to? Or the analogy that he drew with his joke of the day? Yes, Alexander Kim, 3D printer. Okay. Then the third question. According to Rami, how many new thoughts come into one's mind when adding a word to your English vocabulary? Yes, Randall, 30, Michael, 30. Yes, that's correct. All right. Now to our speakers, what our speakers were saying. Which two rulers did Shinsaku compare in his speech today? So which two rulers did he compare? Yes, that's correct. So Ivan Vasilievich and Oda Nobunaga. Then in Anastasia Lukina's speech, her leadership traits were similar to these two visionary leaders. Who were they? Nice one, Randall. No, that's okay. So Michael, that's Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Right. Now we're going to Michael's speech. So what were the three pillars for impromptu speaking that he mentioned? So what are three things that you need to do to deliver your impromptu speeches, or when delivering impromptu speeches? So there were three key things that he said we must do when we get a topic. Nice one, Walter. That's almost it, but not really. All right. No, not quite that. So giving a little bit more time for that. So three things that he said we must do. No, that's not it. All right. So Michael said we have to listen, Then the second, so listen carefully, then respond or react, and then finally communicate. So listen, respond, communicate. Yes. Yuki, that's perfect. That's the right answer. So, all right, now moving on to the table topics. What ultimately stands between Randall and his happiness? Right, so initially that's what, so did I see that? That's what initially Randall said, but he also summed it up in the end. What was his ultimate decision? Yes, exactly, Sergey, that's correct. Randall said that ultimately he himself stands between his happiness or his perception. Then according to Walter, can there be happiness without sadness, pleasure without pain, and peace without war? No, that was a resounding no. Yes. And then which place is Sergey's best childhood memories associated with? Yes, that's correct. Anapa, or the Black Sea. And then what makes Olga Yatsyk happy? Walter. all correct, but not quite there. So yes, so Anastasia Lukina, that's correct. So her job, her in-person job, to be specific. And then the final question, according to Anna, what are the primary components of a happy life? So I think, so that's the last one. Yes, so food, communication, those are part of it. Yes. So gambling, I suppose. So yes, Marina, that's correct. Clean eating, fitness, and family connection or communication. That's it from me. Thank you for listening and paying attention. Mr. General Evaluator, over to you.
Thank you very much, Quizmaster Olga. And as I say, I'm a little bit rusty, so I forget half what I'm saying and doing. But we will have the AHA counter report, and that's Randall. Welcome, Randall. Da, 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 da.
Thank you very much, Henrik in Denmark. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to read out a few things for you. First, I want to start with a few remarks about our president, because remarkably today, he did not say any naughty words. I think that's a first. And also, remarkably today, he didn't use the word gonna, which I used to remind him about. Gonna is not a word that we use in proper speech. Going to is how we would properly say it. Yes, you may hear it in common speech, but it's not appropriate in a professional manner, in a professional environment. I did see two people that used the word gonna today. That was Rami once and Konstantin once. But over to the ahs and the ums. We have, I'm just going to read out each person's name here quickly so you can see how many ahs and ums you made. It's neither good nor bad. It depends on where you were the last time you were speaking. So just bear that in mind. So Walter, 5 ahs, 1 Rami, who is our Toastmaster of the day, speaking the most, 15 ahs, 5 ums. Alexander Kim, none. Olga Gusieva, none. Anastasia Lear had only 1 Anna Soldatova had 15 ums. There's 15 ahs, 5 ums. Shinsaku, almost none, just 2 little ahs. Anastasia Lukina, 3 ahs, 4 ums. Michael Waiter had no ums, ahs, r's, wells, so's, likes, or buts, but he used the word now 3 times. But that was just in his speech. So perhaps it was how would you say that? The beginning of a sentence, the beginning of a part of his speech. Maybe you want to, maybe that's okay. Maybe you want to change that in the future, Michael. Marina, our guest, had 1 ah, 3 ums. Angela, our guest, had 2 ahs, 1 Konstantin had 11 ahs and 1 Sergey Udaltsov had 5 ahs and 2 ums. And Olga Yatsyk had 7 ahs and 8 ums and a like. It was nice for variety. We had one person say like. And Henrik, I didn't hear any ahs and for you. So very good job, everybody. Over to you, Henrik.
Thank you very much for your work, Randall. And now it's my own time for my little report here. We can begin with that we're greeting each person that had a very nice welcome here from all when I come in. That was very good. And then we have a technical check. And I say it before and I say it again. You who as a speaker, evaluator, or please check your microphones, check your connections. We have here 15 minutes before we're coming into, and you can check that it will work with your slideshow and share pictures and everything. So we're not taking so much time to fix it up. That's a much better thing to prepare. You've done probably a very good speech. It should not be a missing because you can't speak quite to the mic or have some bad connections. The speech is very important to listen to, and we will have your share screen will be seen too, and prepare for that for the next time. It's much better. The meeting starts on time, yes, and we were waiting for some person, so we have little bit minute late or something like that. No program was changing. Toastmaster did. Let me see. Timer did a very good job, and let me see. So there was 3 things I was thinking about. The Toastmaster is supposed to set the climate of the meeting. If the Toastmaster are happy, we are happy. If the Toastmaster are angry, we are angry. Toastmaster today, I was he had a very excited and was happy and smiling all the time. So that was a very great job. I like that very much when you can smile and do climate things. So it's for a good climate. And let me see what it was more. The word of the day was excellent. And but something what I miss was introducing the evaluators. That I hardly know who should evaluate who. So when we introduce the speaker, please introduce the evaluators too for the next time, so we know what we have, even if it's standing in an agenda. It's much better for the general evaluator. And the prepared speeches, I have nothing more than that. Sergey made a very, very happy evaluation. I was feeling happy and smiled when I heard his evaluation. Otherwise, very good job. To have evaluation is very, very tough. It is a speech. It is an art. And to make a 6 to 8 minutes long speech summarized it in 2 minutes, and you have only 5-6 minutes to do it. That's a very good art. Thank you very much for all the great jobs there. And then we come to table topics. I don't know if I have missed something, but I was supposed to have table topics as a funny thing for the audience. What I hear was a workshop of about different things. It takes more than 8 minutes of the table topics time we have. So we were 50 minutes late. The stage is what I can see, the audience. They should go up as soon as possible and talk, and not the table topic master holders or the lesson. It was a very good lesson. I would like to see it in another time, another thing. Very good, but not for table topics. Maybe I missed something, but it looks like that to me. Oh, let me see what I have more. Well, that was all for me. Thank you for a very good meeting, and thank you for a very good speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Getting the feedback is a very vital thing, and it makes us grow. And it's getting an evaluation shows what are the things that are missing and how we can become better in time. Thank you so much, Henrik. And it's a vital thing for us to continue and smile all day. So now comes the moment that we are all waiting for. We will be announcing the winners. The best evaluator for today is Anastasia Lear. Congratulations, Anastasia. And now the best table topic. Everyone, some suspense, please. And Walter, congratulations. And now, for the best speech, Michael, congratulations. Excellent. So I would like to pass control to the president for closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rami. Thank you very much to the audience, and thank you very much for all participants of today. I would take these closing remarks to, first of all, thank everyone for this rich attendance. Once again, coming together, even online, is still sometimes weird, sometimes awkward, sometimes technically strange, sometimes depressed, but making sure that people are together from all over the world, I can't emphasize this little enough. So it is always great. And I would like to use the clap to hand together to everyone who's been here today so far before I continue the closing remarks now. It is always good to see a crowd coming together, no matter what the circumstances are. Now, I would like to close off with number one, saying thank you very much, our Toastmaster of the day in his very first role, being Rami. You've done a fantastic job, and I think you've guided us very nicely through this very meeting. The second one, our table topic master, Konstantin Kudz, was also his first role in his past. So thank you very much for having the courage, and it's always tricky to be first time and first thing. So that was also very good and should be motivating to continue learning and running through the paths. The next thing I would like to do to all the people, guests and members who are joining us for the first time, a quick brief remark what this is all about. You all have the opportunity to join these meetings and become a member. You've now seen an excerpt of how a meeting runs through. You've learned a lot about the structure, about the evaluation, and about the different roles. What you haven't seen is once you are participating 3 times for free as a guest, you make your decision to join as a club member. What do you get for it? You get the membership, which allows you to actively participate and apply for the roles which you have seen now today, a speaker, a table topic, a Toastmaster, officially through the membership system, not only within this club of St. Petersburg, but also throughout the world. That's why we have these foreign members today from Japan, from South Africa, from the US, from Ireland, coming and joining us. This is what the membership gives you to. The price varies due to the currency exchange. I think it's roughly around $46 US per 6 months, depending on the course, obviously, with the ruble going up and down. So just that you know, this is how the cookie crumbles, basically, and this is what you'll get once you sign up for an official membership. And then you can participate, choose your pathway, choose your path as an education system, and then you'll have your tasks to fulfill and your roles to take and your speeches to deliver, so that you are briefly informed about how it goes. I see Michael raising his finger, not knowing what it is, but probably a request for speaking. Michael?
Also, I'd just like to mention to them that once you do join and you get ready to give your speeches, we will assign you a mentor, another club mentor who's more experienced than you, just to answer your questions and give you a little bit of guidance along the way. So there will be somebody helping you. It's not a lone journey. The club members will help you as you move forward. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Michael, for that very much important note that you've been taken care of and guided into these roles. The next one I would like to say is please, if you haven't done so through far, as Michael stated, provide your email addresses to the chat, please, not to all, but to Michael, just in case you haven't. And then we can follow up and guiding you through procedure that you're not being left alone. On that note, if none of the guests has questions, if you have, please take 1 or 2 minutes to ask them, because our members and myself, we can answer them.
Sergey has his hand up.
Ah, there's one. Yeah, I have the multi-screen. Yes, Sergey, you want to unmute yourself, please?
Just an invitation from Ireland, from Toastmasters, to everyone who is interested. On Monday, December 7th, we have a Tall Tales competition in our club. During the break, I posted the link in the chat well, I can post it again.
Yes.
So if you want to hear a real Irish accent in English, and I know that at least one person in this club had that pleasure, Alexander, yes. So 8 o'clock Irish time, which is a bit, I know it's a bit late, unfortunately 3 hours difference, 11 p.m. St. Petersburg time, but it's still fun, and Tall Tales is always a good humor, guaranteed. And of course, members are welcome to participate. If you have your own Tall Tale, you can contact and offer your story. So just in case, I will post again the Zoom link in chat and email address to contact.
Yes, please do so. Thank you very much, Sergey.
Welcome to Tralee to Ireland.
Thanks for the invite. Cheers. On that note, before we proceed to our internal meeting minutes or member minutes, please, I would like the guests to leave the room or the session so you're not being bored by our internal discussions for the next meeting. So I don't know who else is here. Thank you very much for attending. Stick to us again and provide the email address, and then we keep in touch.
Bye-bye.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Henrik.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, Marina. Bye, Maria. Bye, Angela.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.